Good morning, everyone. It's of great pleasure to welcome you all in Indocrypt 2021, the 22nd International Conference of Cryptography in India at LNMIT Jaipur. On behalf of the whole organizing committee, I, Paulami Dalapati, welcome you and all the eminent speakers from all over the world who are taking part in this glorious event in this conference. This conference this year is being conducted in hybrid mode in line with the social distancing norms due to COVID-19 protocols. Before going to start the main event, this event will start with the blessings of God Saraswati.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रान्विता या वीणां वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा पूजिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा।
Now, I would like to request our organizing chair, Dr. Jay Prakash Kar, to come up on the stage and address the audience. Thank you.
Respected Professor Bimal Roy, Professor Rahul Banerjee, Professor Ravi Gaurti, honorable guests and all participants who have joined us in physical and virtual across the globe. Good morning, good afternoon, all of you. I wholeheartedly welcome all of you to the 22nd International Conference on Cryptology in India. It is our great pleasure to host Indocrypt 2021 at LNMIT this year. It is being organized in association with R.C. Bose Center for Cryptology and Security and the Chatterjee Group Center for Research and Education in Science and Technology, Calcutta. I am very much thankful to our funding agency, R.C. Bose Center for Cryptology and Security, NTRO, CRSI, Microsoft Research, NPHM, DRDO for this kind support. Indocrypt 2021 is part of Indocrypt series organized under the aegis of the Cryptology Research Society of India in cooperation with International Association for Cryptology Research. It targets researchers, academicians in areas which includes but not limited to new cryptographic primitive proposals, cryptanalysis, privacy issues, cryptographic protocols, quantum and post-quantum cryptography, etc. Indocrypt 2021 will have 3 invited speakers by well-known cryptographers. The first talk is by Professor Adi Samir, Turing Award winner, computer scientist. He is one of the founders. The first talk is by Professor Adi Samir, Turing Award winner, computer scientist. He is one of the founders of modern cryptography and co-inventor of famous RSA crypto system. The next talk is Dr. Karthikeyan Bhargam. He is a research at INRIA, France, and specialist in securing data exchange on internet. He has developed Abstar to investigate security of cryptographic protocols such as transport layer security and build to verify cryptographic libraries such as HACL star. Dr. Maria Nea is a research director at INRIA, France, and winner of 2019 India Academic of Science Younger Researchers. Her main research topic is symmetric cryptography. We hope all participants will gain newer insights and will be able to interact with our distinguished speakers. This year, 66 research papers were received, out of which 27 papers have been accepted. There are in the domain of authenticated encryptions, lightweight cryptography, post-quantum cryptography, side channel attack, fault attacks, symmetric cryptography, public key encryption and protocols, cryptographic constructions, and blockchain. Due to COVID pandemic, we have been forced to organize this event in hybrid mode this year. Nevertheless, we hope all of us will join across borders and make this event a great success. Thank you all of the participating in Indocrypt 2021. We welcome you once again.
Now I would like to request our delegates to please come up on stage. First, our chief patron and the Honorable Director of the Institute, Professor Rahul Banerjee. General Chair of the conference, Professor Ravi Garthi. Our chief guest of the event, Professor Bimal Roy. Organizing Chair, Dr. Jayaprakash Kar. I would also like to invite our conference chair who have joined remotely in this event, Professor Abhishek Adhikari, Professor Ralph Kuster, Professor Bart Pinel for the event. Thank you. Now I would like to request Dr. Shweta Vandari, one of the members of the organizing committee, to present the flower bouquet to all the delegates. Professor Rahul Banerjee. Professor Ravi Garthi. Professor Bimal Roy. Dr. Jayaprakash Kaur. Now I would like to request all the delegates and the eminent persons on stage for the lamp lighting ceremony of the event. Now I would like to request our conference chair, Professor Abhishek Adhikari, to address the audience. Professor Adhikari is the professor at Department of Mathematics in Presidency University, Kolkata. So over to you, Professor Adhikari.
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the program chairs and organizing committee, It's our immense pleasure to welcome you all to the 22nd International Conference on Cryptology, Indocrypt 2021, organized in this hybrid mode. Yes, we are all experiencing an unprecedented situation with the global COVID-19 pandemic. A virus not visible to a naked eye has put the world almost on a pause. As someone once nicely said, the show must go on. Keeping the spirit with us, with the able organizational support from the LMN IIT team and the enthusiasm from Professor Bimal Roy, we are finally able to organize this conference in a hybrid mode, even in this current challenging situation. For that, I must congratulate the director of LMN IIT, the general chair, Professor Gotti, the organizing chair, Dr. Kaur, and the whole team for their tireless effort. Being the program chair, it was my great experience to work with two of my other co-chairs, Professor Prenil and Professor Ralph Prusta. I learned many things from them. I'm sure this conference will be fruitful once and will certainly provide impetus to the young minds towards the research on cryptology. So that is one of the goals for our Cryptology Research Society of India. So with that, I thank all of you, all the participants, all the viewers who are watching this online, and wish you all the best. And I am sure that this conference will be a great success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Adhikari, for your great support and guidance. Now I would like to request Professor Ralph Kuster for his address to the audience. Professor Ralph, he is a professor of information security at University of Stuttgart, Germany. So over to you, Professor Kuster.
Thank you very much. Just a moment. Can you see my slides? I think you can. Yes. So very warm welcome also from my side. It's a pleasure to be here. It's too bad that we cannot do this in person, but at least online. So here you see some pictures of us. So we have been working together for quite some time intensively now. It has been a pleasure to work with my colleagues. A very warm welcome. And so let me say a few words about the program. Professor Carr already mentioned a bit of that. And I want to give you a little bit of statistics, but I don't want to bore you too much because, well, at least in Europe it's still early in the morning, so not too many numbers. So we have a great program ahead of us, and actually we started this already yesterday with an invited tutorial, which I think was excellent by Daniel Bernstein on quantum cryptanalysis. And today we have a great talk, invited talk by Adi Shamia, a new theory of adversarial examples in machine learning. And then by Maria, quantum safe symmetric cryptography. And on the last day by Karthika Bhagavan, high assurance, high performance cryptographic software. So we are all looking very much forward to this. We have 9 great sessions on various topics of cryptography. And each session has 3 speakers, so 27 talks altogether. And then we also, on the second day, we will have a RAM session. And don't miss out to advertise your latest results and interests and interesting events maybe that you want to advertise. That's also fine. And I think we still have some slots. And so if you're interested, please just go on the website and you'll see where to send email so that you can give it a short talk there. So a bit about the reviewing process and a little bit of statistics. So as usual, we have a double-blind reviewing process, 66 submissions, 199 authors from 25 countries, so very international conference, of course. We rejected one paper, chair rejected one paper because it simply didn't meet the submission guidelines. And all other papers received at least 3 reviews by the PC, which consisted of 7 experts from around the world. And we also asked 29 external reviewers to provide their expertise. So if reviews were missing, we needed more reviews on a paper, more opinion, and maybe also some more expertise. In the end, we accepted 27 papers. And at this point, let me already thank all the authors for submitting their work. Without you, it wouldn't be possible to have this conference. And well, let me also thank the program committee, which of course did a tremendous job and a big job of reviewing all papers and intensively studying them and giving their opinion about them. So I won't read all the names, there are too many, but at least I wanted to list them because they definitely deserved to be thanked here. Then, as I mentioned, we had also external reviewers, so thanks a lot to them as well. To just, well, often like on a quite short notice, they were asked to also provide their opinion, so thanks a lot to them. So this also wouldn't be possible without the organizers, and they really had like 2 jobs to organize the online event and also the in-person event. So they really had to do like twice the work as usual. So thanks a lot to Professor Banerjee, to Professor Gorty, to Professor Carr, and the whole organizing team. And also thanks a lot to Lilinjan Datta for organizing the RAM session. As I said, if you would like to give a talk, you can still send email. And with that, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for attending, and enjoy the conference. And then
Thank
over
you,
to
Professor Koster. Now I would like to request Professor Brad Prinell for his speech to the audience. Professor Prinell is from Electrical Engineering Department of KU Leuven in Belgium. So over to you, Professor Prinell.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of my colleagues, I also want to say welcome to Indocrypt, even if it's in this hybrid form. It's a pleasure to be here with you today, and I really wish I could be with you in person. My first trip to India was 25 years ago. And I think Bimal invited me also 20 years ago to visit ISI in Kolkata. And since then, I've visited India many times, and I always have very fond memories. It always has been a learning experience. And as you may know, the title of Indocrypt proceedings is called Progress in Cryptology. And I think that's what we are seeing in India. There is tremendous progress over the past 20 years in cryptology. And I think Indocrypt is an important element in there. It's really great to see how India is a full member of the national community and is progressing and helping towards development of the field of cryptography. I also would like to thank my colleagues, but also the general chairs, authors have already been mentioned. And I'm really looking forward to an enjoyable event. I hope that many of you will have as much pleasure in attending the cryptology conference Indocrypt as the general chairs and co-chairs had in putting the program together for you. Thank you very much.
Now I would like to request the Chief Patron of the conference and also the Honorable Director of the LNMIT, Professor Rahul Banerjee, to address the audience.
Very good morning and very good afternoon, wherever participants of this conference are, anywhere in the world, within the country and outside of India. it's a great privilege to host the 22nd International Conference on Cryptology in India, the Indocrypt 2021. One fine evening, I received a communication from one of the core members of Indocrypt in the country, who happens to be also one of our faculty colleagues, Professor Pandurangan. And he mentioned that there is a possibility that the core team does consider Indocrypt 2021 to be hosted by the LNMIT. And he had some discussion with Professor Bimal Roy, who we had earlier the privilege of having here. And Professor Jaiprakash Kar was in discussion with him and other members. It did not take probably more than even 10 minutes for me to write back to them that it would be our privilege to host it here. Around that time, we were planning to have it in normal on-campus mode, but we were also prepared, keeping in mind the likelihood of pandemic reaching a specific stage where we may have to go either completely online or in hybrid mode. So finally, as what we are in hybrid mode here. Need for privacy and security has already been underlined by so many of the people since ages, right from the days when people wanted to look for the ways of information hiding or steganographic methods, to the days when people realized that information hiding in that unencrypted way or unencoded way would not probably be adequate, and they need to have greater ways of securing information and protecting the systems against them. So we moved from those days, tried simple methods of using the same key, using symmetric cryptography to asymmetric cryptography. We moved further, looked into the trust-based system, building more trust through public key cryptographic systems, as well as looking into the methods like blockchain, which build kind of trust and help us do things in a variety of ways. We gradually started looking into the ways, thanks to the promise of the quantum computing, ways of looking into the ways where quantum cryptographic protocols were being thought of, methods were being looked at. And then there came a thought, which got a little crystallized form around 2016, when NIST, in one of the well-known post-quantum cryptography conference, PC Crypto 2016, did announce its effort to standardize the thing which would lead to the days when in adequate number, large-scale quantum computers would become available, and therefore they could even break the cryptographic methods and the security system that we have built using the well-known, fairly strong methods, including those like RSA, etc. So there was a need to look into the ways and means, and researchers, as they are always a little ahead of their times, whether from mathematics or other areas, whether applied or pure areas of work, took this opportunity to move forward. While we are continuing to strengthen our current systems on conventional computers, we are also moving forward towards the quantum and post-quantum world. So thank you so much for giving us an opportunity here. My wonderful colleagues here have made it possible with the guidance from the core committee of Indocrypt. My thanks are due to everyone who chose to participate in Indocrypt and make it possible. Thank you so much. We hope that you have a wonderful experience here, both online and offline.
So thank you, Professor Banerjee. Now I would like to request our General Chair for the conference, Professor Ravi Garti, to address the audience. Professor Ravi Garti is an eminent professor from Department of CAC at LNMIT Jaipur.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I never thought in my life that I have to say all the three things at one time. So these are the nicer side effects of this unprecedented pandemic. If it is not out of place, May I request some of you to use the Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity and spread out as much as you can. That would be wonderful. First, there is a famous Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity, I think led to the Turing Award, the Nobel Prize. The dignitaries on the dais, Professor Rahul Banerjee, Professor Bimal Roy, Professor Jay Prakash Kar, those who are outside, the PC members, honorable, the invited speakers, the entire renowned set of program committee, and the wonderful organizing team. It's not at all easy to organize in this effect of pandemic in a hybrid mode. It is double the difficulty in organizing it. The organizing team is putting hours and hours of effort. Really, my compliments to them, the younger team. Some years back, first of all, Professor Banerjee has brought in a renewed vigor to having such kind of conferences. These conferences enable the research scholars to set what the new area I would work on, how would I expand my research by listening to what is latest going on from the invited speakers, from the papers published. So this is a wonderful opportunity. I'm sure you all make the best out of such international conferences such as this one. Around 6 years back, there was a professor by name Professor Joshi from Maryland University, definitely an expert in the area of securing systems, gave a technical talk exactly showing how he can bring down some of the systems like the entire electricity grid of India sitting somewhere remotely. It really gave a shock down the spine listening to that talk that years back. So the topic of securing data network systems against attacks, right, is one of the most important, because going forward, the mankind, both the citizens and the soldiers, would be cautious about possible attacks for you, for your bank accounts, all right, and for the soldiers in guarding our lives, etc. So a wonderful topic, a wonderful international conference. Thanks to Professor Banerjee, we all are having it in LNMIT campus. Hope all the delegates are not facing any problems. In case you face, do let us definitely know. It's a difficult task, and we will try our best. My best compliments to the organizing team, and sincere thanks to all the people in the invited speakers, to PC, to others, and especially Professor Bimal Roy as a guiding factor and guiding force in this conference. Thank you all.
So thank you, Professor Garti. Now I would like to request our chief guest of the day, Professor Bimal Roy, to address the audience. Professor Bimal Roy is a former director of ISI Kolkata. He is a cryptologist from the Cryptology Research Group of the Applied Statistics Unit in ISI Kolkata. Professor Bimal Roy.
Okay, as usual, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it may be, because we are all over the globe. I think I will speak on behalf of the Cryptology Research Society of India. As of today, I am still the General Secretary. And when we formed the society, we're trying to elevate India to a high level in the research of cryptology. And when we discussed, I think the initial, I would say, think tanks were, well, myself, Professor Panduraman, Professor Balasubramanian, Professor Venivadavan, and Palash Sharkar, Shumamutru, Professor Rana Bodua, and so on. And we thought of threefold activities. Number one, to have instructional workshops for the students, because it's our duty or it's our responsibility to the student community to educate them in this subject. Till then, it was not really taught in the colleges over the countrywide in the institutions.
So first we address the students to make them interested in this area. Then the next level was what we call the national workshop, to have the Indian students or even the other Indian researchers from R&D groups to present their work. It's typically a national level workshop to make them enthusiastic about research and present it some forum where the experts listen to them and give them advices. And the third one, to get us, these two are for our own development. And third one is basically to get us recognized by the international community. So we thought of starting an international conference series called Indocrypt. And as I was talking to some of the students the other day, how do we get ourselves recognized when the others recognize us? And I still remember in the first Indocrypt, I had the courage that time to invite Professor Adi Shamir, that why don't you come to Calcutta, spend a week with us and deliver the inaugural address plus the first invited address. And when he accepted, then we knew that we are on our path to recognition. And I'm very happy to see that Professor Shamir will be here again, but virtually. But I'm pretty sure he would have loved to come here physically and deliver the talk. And this has always been a very, very vibrant international activity, having tons of delegates, typically between 200 and 250, which is very large for this small area, small subject area. Last year, we had to go fully online. This year also, LNMIIT would have been full of the top cryptographers from all over the world, but unfortunately, because of this scenario, and on top of it, I think Bert did plan to come here, but just 2 weeks ago, we had a new restriction from the Indian government that once you land in India from abroad, you have to go for a 7-day quarantine. So that stopped everywhere to travel. I think Bert was still courageous to travel. I think many of them would have traveled, but that stopped this one. So let's go ahead this way, and I'm pretty sure this will be as successful. And our main objective, that putting the Indian crypto research in the international arena, is going to be highlighted once again. And as a part of our society, we normally acknowledge the service of the program co-chairs, the general chair, and the organizing chair with a token of appreciation. And since we have only 2 persons here, general chair Professor Gorthi and organizing chair Jayaprakash, I would request Professor Banerjee to hand over them a token of appreciation. Just to note that, Abhishek, I'll hand it over to you in Kolkata. And Ralph and Bert, I need your mailing address. I'm going to courier it after I go back to Kolkata. Now, thanks to all of you, and especially to the LNMIIT director and his team for hosting this event. Thank you.
So thank you, Professor Roy. So this is the end of our inaugural ceremony. Before we go for a lunch break, I have some few important announcements regarding COVID protocols. It is for all the participants, organizing members, and all who are concerned in this conference. Please follow social distancing and wear your mask whenever and wherever you go inside the campus and outside the campus. And kindly use sanitizer properly, and do not gather in one place more than 3 or 4 people. So thank you on behalf of all the organizing committee. This is for a lunch break, and lunch will be served in guest house premises itself. We'll be back 1:30 sharp, 1:15 sharp for the talk of Adi Samir in here. Okay, thank you.